All right, guys, today we're working on this beautiful Mercedes-Benz C200, rocking a Citrine Brown Metallic finish. Now, I know what some of you are already thinking. Spraying clear coat is tricky. I'll just leave it to the pros. But trust me, if you stick with me to the end of this video, you're going to see it's not as hard as it looks. I'm breaking everything down step by step, so even if this is your first time picking up a spray gun, you'll have the confidence to get that deep, glassy finish every car deserves. We'll cover everything: prep, mixing, spraying techniques, and pro tips that'll save you from runs and orange peel. So grab a coffee, stick around, and let's get this C200 looking like it just rolled off the showroom floor. Here's our C200 now with the base coat already applied. Don't worry, I did the hard part off camera so you didn't have to watch me make a mess. But seriously, notice how smooth and even the base coat is. That's key before we even think about spraying clear. If your base isn't perfect, your clear coat won't look glassy no matter how carefully you spray. So today, I'm going to show you exactly how to take this base and turn it into a deep, glossy finish that'll have people thinking you just bought it from the dealership. All right, it's time for the fun part, spraying our first pass of clear coat. Now, this is where a lot of beginners get nervous, and I get it. This is basically the make or break coat. Don't worry though, I'm going to walk you through it step by step. First things first, hold your gun about 6 to 8 inches from the surface. Keep it moving steadily. Don't stop in one spot unless you want your car to look like it got caught in a rainstorm of clear coat. Start by lightly wetting the surface. This first pass isn't about getting maximum gloss. It's about creating a tacky layer that the next coat can stick to. Think of it like laying the foundation for a cake. If the base isn't right, the top won't look good no matter how fancy your frosting is. Use a 50% overlap on each stroke and keep your wrist loose. You don't want shaky lines or runs. If your coat looks a little thin in places, that's perfect. That's exactly what this pass is for. Tip: check your fan pattern on masking paper before you start. Uneven spray is like trying to draw a straight line with a spaghetti noodle. Messy, and nobody wants that. Remember, patience is key. Don't rush. A slow, steady hand is worth 1,000 hurried sprays. Once this coat is down evenly, we'll let it flash off for a few minutes before the next pass. This little waiting period might feel boring, but it's what keeps runs and orange peel at bay. And that's it for our first pass. It already looks smoother than I expected. And once we layer on the next coats, this C200 is going to start popping like a show car. Now that our first pass of clear coat is down, it's time to let it flash off. Think of this like letting your paint take a little power nap. It's not dry yet, but it's ready for the next coat. This stage is crucial. If you rush the next pass, you risk runs, orange peel, or even solvent popping. We want the surface tacky, not wet. Like Goldilocks, not too wet, not too dry, just right. Chuckle. Depending on temperature and humidity, this usually takes 5 to 15 minutes. Use this time to check your work, make sure the surface is even, and prep for your next coat. Patience now saves hours of fixing mistakes later. All right, it's time for the second coat, and this is where things start to get exciting. The C200 is really going to start shining. The first coat was just the foundation. This one is where we build depth and gloss. Remember, same technique as before. Keep your gun 6 to 8 inches from the surface. Overlap each pass by about 50 to 70% and move steadily. Think of it like painting a wall. You wouldn't hold the roller in one spot, right? This coat should be medium wet, not soaking, not dry, just enough to create a smooth, glassy layer. If you see a little extra gloss building up, that's perfect. It means we're getting that deep reflection we want. Quick tip: keep an eye on your edges and corners. They're the usual trouble spots. Slow down there and feather your passes. You don't want drips ruining all your hard work. Once this coat is done, give it a few minutes to flash off again. By the time we're done, this Citrine Brown Metallic C200 is going to have that mirror-like finish that makes people stop and stare. And hey, if anyone asks, just tell them you've been practicing your artist brush strokes all your life. Sovereign, now that our second coat is down, it's time for it to flash off again. This is the crucial moment where the clear coat settles, levels out, and starts forming that deep, glossy finish we're after. Don't be tempted to touch it or rush the next steps. This coat needs to calm down, like a toddler after a sugar rush. Chuckle. Depending on your shop conditions, this usually takes around 5 to 15 minutes. Use this time to step back, check the surface for any imperfections, and make sure everything is smooth and even. Patience here is what separates a show car finish from a meth finish. Once it's tacky and ready, we'll move on to the final finishing steps that will make this C200 truly shine. All right, it's the moment of truth, the final pass of clear coat. This is the coat that really brings out the depth, gloss, and that mirror-like finish we're chasing on this Citrine Brown Metallic C200. Everything we did so far, the prep, the base coat, the first two passes, leads up to this. Start by making sure your gun is still set up correctly. 6 to 8 inches from the surface, even fan pattern, steady pressure. This coat is a little different because it's all about building that wet, glassy look without overdoing it. Move slowly and deliberately, overlapping each pass about 50%, just like before. Don't stop in one spot unless you want a mini lava flow of clear coat. Remember, a steady hand here is worth more than 1,000 rush sprays. Focus extra on edges and corners. They tend to catch too much or too little clear. Light feathered passes will keep the finish smooth. You'll notice as you go that the gloss starts popping immediately and the car starts looking almost wet, like it just rolled out of a showroom. Don't panic if it feels a bit thick. This is normal for the final pass. The solvents will level everything out during the flash-off stage. Think of this coat as the cherry on top. It makes the cake look irresistible. Once you've covered the entire car evenly, step back and admire your work. The surface should look smooth, wet, and deep in color. We'll let this final coat flash off properly before moving on to any wet sanding or buffing to get that ultimate mirror finish. And there you go. Your final pass is down, and this C200 is already starting to turn heads before it even leaves the garage. Now that our last coat of clear is down, it's time to let it flash off one final time. This stage is where all the magic happens. The solvents evaporate, the clear levels itself out, and that deep, wet gloss starts locking in. At this point, patience is everything. Rushing would just ruin all the effort you put in. Depending on your temperature and airflow, this can take anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes before it's safe to move on. This is also the perfect time to check your work. Step back, look at your reflections, and make sure the coverage is even. Don't touch the surface. Resist the urge. It's still soft and will pick up fingerprints faster than your phone screen. Once it's fully flashed, we'll let it cure properly before moving to any wet sanding, polishing, or final detailing. For now, just enjoy that mirror-like shine. You earned it.